program is brought to you by Discovery. East London lies on the broad Buffalo River and is the only river port in South Africa. Known for its long stretches of some of the finest beaches in the world, it's the choice of destination for holidaymakers and surfers alike. Top-class hotels line the beachfront where the media and competitors outside of East London stayed, offering luxurious accommodation and delicious sustenance. Welcome to the 36th Annual Discovery Surfers Challenge. As the big day arrived, all the competitors and the spectators made their way down to the start at the Kwaleja River. The race begins at the mouth of the Kwaleja River at Yellow Sands, north of East London. Competitors then follow a rugged seaside course over loose boulders, gullies and soft sand on the way past Rainbow Valley Resort before they encounter their first major obstacle, the Ganubi River. After taking a plunge in the sometimes icy water, a short run on the Ganubi beach takes the runners past the car park and hotel for the relatively flat 5-kilometre chase along the coast-hugging tar road to Eastwood Ho. From there, it's back to the beach as runners plod their way through shingle to the firmer sand of Bonza Bay Beach and the last stretch before the final hurdle, the Nahoon River. Once across the Nahoon River, there's a 400-metre scramble to the finish in front of the Nahoon Lifesavers Complex. The paddlers, of course, had different obstacles to deal with, but as far as the runners go, a distance of 17.5 kilometres in total. We caught up with event coordinator Neville Wilkins to find out a little more about the event.
I've been the organizer for the last 27 years. This race started in 1975 with 26 runners. There's only one runner that's ever run all 36. He's going to be here today. His name is Dougie Cunard. We have a lot of international people coming out, and we've got a lot of people from outside East London that come and run this race. I have also a committee that works with me. There are 14 committee members. They're all voluntary. We start preparing this race in October, and we work right through until today. Our key sponsor is Discovery. They've been on board with us for the last 7 years, and they're on for the next 3 years as well. Also, we must say thank you very much to Buffalo City Municipality for all their work and support they give us as well. We do have other sub-sponsors, Algoa FM, New Balance, EL Nut and Bolt, Robot Security, Dynamic Emergency Services, Designer Gold, Cat Leisure, the South African Police Services, Ganubi and East London Surf Lifesaving Association.
We caught up with some of the competitors ahead of the race.
We represent East London Pacers, the walking club.
I'm from Port Alfred.
I'm from Cape Town, originally from Germany.
And I'm also from Port Alfred.
I'm from England. I moved out here a few months ago, so I thought I'll do it while I'm here.
I'm also from Port Alfred.
Port Alfred.
Yes, we've run quite a long way. We started at Port St. John's. We've done 255 Ks so far. We started on Monday and we arrived here this morning. So now we're ready to do the surfers.
Last year I ran it, and the year before that, or actually 2007, I walked it. But now I'm running it.
We come from Johannesburg. We came down for the weekend to do the surfers.
I've done 22, Stephen done 5.
This will be number 4, even though I'm wearing the finisher's t-shirt. I haven't actually finished yet.
Well, we're looking forward to a fantastic race. I'm Leanne Paulik and I'm joined by the man himself, Bruce Fordyce, who got a shirt ahead of time. How did you organise that?
It's one of Neville Wilkins' traditions. Yeah, and he always seems to give me the t-shirt to act as a sort of a goad and a lure for the other runners to show them what they're going to get when they finish the race.
So a bit of an incentive then?
I think so, though not too many of them saw me this year because I'm bragging I had a good run.
Well, as you can see, the front runners, they're getting off to a fine start, and it really is always a jostle there in the beginning because everybody wants to make a good start.
Yeah, and it's chaos. I'm going to be honest, because there are only 1 or 2 little tracks and there are thousands of runners trying to get along those tracks, and you've got to really weave your way through them, or else be very patient and just walk and take your time.
Would you say that this is one of the toughest races out there at this distance?
At this distance, Leanne, I think it's the toughest, and particularly this year because we had a high spring tide which drove all the runners up into the thick sand and made the rivers very tricky to swim across. And even though I ran a very good time for me, I was really much tighter at the end than I've been in the last 3 occasions that I've run it.
Now that despite what looks to be very mild, cool conditions out there.
That was the only thing that was forgiving, Leanne. The conditions were perfect. But as I said, the high spring tide made it really tough for all of us.
As we see a fisherman just clearing out of the way of the runners. But Bruce, I must say, one of the things that has really struck me is it's really casual out there. We don't see club colours or anything like that.
No, it's a giant fun run with thousands of participants, and the really interesting thing about it is that everybody comes along. The whole of East London and the border region all seem to come along, and club colours are not obligatory, and our numbers are written on our arms, so it makes you feel like a really red-hot triathlete. But I have to tell you, those 17.5 kilometres, they are far removed from a fun run. It gets very, very tough.
Yeah, I must say, if you say 17.5 kilometres, it doesn't sound like anything that's going to break you. But as we return to the start now, we can see the walkers gearing up. And one would imagine that it's not too rough for them. They can sedately make their way up the course.
Leanne, there are cut-off points, and so they have to get a bit of a move on. And there's Dougie Coonard in the green shorts coming down, doing surfer number 36.
That's an impressive statistic indeed. Well, as you can see by all the rocks and stuff in place there, that really your ankles can take some serious damage there.
Yep, mine were not great at the end, and I'm not a mountain goat, so I struggle on the rough stuff. I prefer these paths, and I'd love Ganubi with its open stretches of tar.
Well, this race really has grown exponentially over the years. We've got something like 2,500 runners competing, and it's great to see this sort of growth taking place, Bruce.
Yeah, and it's nice also to see that it's everybody of all abilities, from the very fast right back to the walkers who are out there just to enjoy, casual stroll along the beach.
Would you say that this is a race for anybody? I mean, if you aren't really a runner per se, is it okay still to enter and give it a bash?
It is a race for anybody, but you have to be a fairly fit anybody because it's tough. It's tough running on sand, and we don't have camel feet, and you find that out very, very quickly when you get into the thick stuff.
But it's really beautiful out there. Did you get a chance to enjoy the beauty of the coastline?
I did from time to time, but you can't look up for very long. You'll have a look here. Everybody is looking down to see where they're about to put their feet.
Well, we can see the paddlers who set off at the same time making their way along that area of coastline. As you go over that sand, is it actually more difficult the more people that have gone over it before you?
Yes, because the sand gets churned up, and also when you're running with a whole lot of runners all around you, everybody wants that particular spot. And so as you're about to put your foot down there, so a whole lot of other people put their foot on the same spot, and you've got to fight for your ground.
Well, you can see the walkers here setting off, starting their challenge, and I think here in particular we'll see athletes and walkers of all sorts of abilities who'll be looking to do something special along the way there. This program is brought to you by Discovery.